Emerging board technologies have become a defining feature of corporate governance in 2025. AI-driven analytics platforms, digital board portals, and experimental tools like virtual reality meetings are now commonplace in Fortune 500 boardrooms. These technologies promise to streamline decision-making, improve oversight, and provide directors with faster access to information. In practice, their impact varies widely depending on how rigorously boards implement and supervise these tools. AI is the centerpiece of this transformation. Governance platforms such as Boardable and Diligent Intelligence use machine learning to flag risks, analyze management proposals, and generate voting recommendations. The technology can identify discrepancies in financial reports or highlight operational red flags before they escalate. For example, Microsoft's Audit Committee requires every AI-flagged financial anomaly to be independently reviewed, a practice that helped uncover hundreds of millions in accounting errors last year. By contrast, at Tesla, the board's reliance on an AI-generated report for approving executive compensation led to a high-profile court reversal, as directors failed to interrogate the underlying logic of the recommendations. Despite widespread adoption, meaningful integration remains limited. While nearly 9 out of 10 large companies now use digital governance tools, only a minority embed them deeply into board processes. Many directors treat AI-generated reports as a formality, skimming the outputs or deferring to management's interpretation. This superficial use undermines the potential benefits. At Goldman Sachs, directors receive algorithmic briefing materials, but most admit to reading only the executive summaries. In other cases, boards recalibrate AI systems until the outputs align with their preferred decisions, as Pfizer's directors did when their AI ethics tool initially recommended against a planned drug price increase. The limitations of technology become acute during crises. Credit Suisse's AI risk model flagged liquidity concerns repeatedly before the bank's collapse, but directors dismissed these warnings as background noise. At FTX, fraud detection algorithms were deliberately muted to reduce false positives, allowing irregularities to go unchecked. These examples illustrate a recurring pattern. Boards sometimes use technology to justify predetermined outcomes rather than to challenge assumptions or improve oversight. Digital board portals have replaced paper packets, but this shift introduces new vulnerabilities. Platforms like Nasdaq Boardvantage and Diligent now handle sensitive documents, meeting agendas, and confidential votes. However, cybersecurity gaps are a persistent issue. The breach at Lockheed Martin last year exposed weeks of board deliberations about government contracts, revealing that basic protocols like multi-factor authentication were not uniformly enforced. Chevron's board portal was compromised through a director's unsecured personal device, highlighting the risks of mixing corporate and personal technology. As more boards move sensitive discussions online, the consequences of these lapses become more severe. Generational divides further complicate technology adoption. Directors under 50 are far more likely to use digital tools extensively, while older members often rely on traditional methods. This creates inconsistent practices within the same board. At Disney, younger directors use analytics dashboards to evaluate streaming performance, while others base decisions on anecdotal reports from management. Efforts to bridge this gap, such as pairing senior directors with tech buddies, have seen limited success. At Exxon, a director assigned a digital coach still insisted on handwritten votes, underscoring the persistence of established habits. Virtual and augmented reality experiments have yet to deliver on their promise. Meta's board abandoned VR meetings after directors reported discomfort and no improvement in engagement. Boeing's use of augmented reality to visualize factory operations saw minimal uptake, with only a minority of directors participating actively. The technology's novelty has not translated into better oversight or more productive discussions. Blockchain applications are emerging slowly. A handful of companies have begun recording board votes on distributed ledgers to prevent tampering and ensure accurate audit trails. Walmart's adoption of blockchain revealed a director changing his vote after seeing preliminary results, leading to his removal. However, the complexity of these systems limits broader adoption, as many directors require IT assistance to access or use the platform's